All right, hello. This video is to help with managing your files for this class. Unlike a traditional class, many of the files you're going to be turning in here are actually going to be electronic files and not paper files. So keeping track of all this can be challenging, especially like last year we used flash drives, but students would end up with multiple copies of the same program, one on their flash drive, one on their school computer, one on their home computer, and it kind of got confusing, all these different files. So I'm going to have you try to do this file stream option. It's somewhat complex, but I feel like once you get it set up, I think it'll actually work quite well. And so it makes use of this program called Google File Stream. And so we're essentially going to store the files on a Google server, and then you'll have access to them on any computer you want, basically, through the internet, much like your Google Drive account is now with your school. So anyways, your files are going to be stored on servers, which are just computers. It's kind of a picture of them. And Google has tons of these servers to store all their people's files. So that's where you're actually going to be stored. Okay, so the idea is we have a Google server. And that's going to store all your files. So what you'll do is, say you're working here at school, right? So this is the school laptop, which is a Mac. So you're going to download that file stream program. So once you download it, you'll get this little icon like that, and you're going to open that up, and you're going to make a little physical folder on the computer. And that folder will store your programs. Okay, so it'll be within inside of this Google File Stream program. So Google File Stream. All right, and it'll be actually just like a little folder you can click on. Maybe like a folder there for your programs. And then say you start working on a program, call it like program 1.java. So what happens is with this file stream program, as long as you save program 1 inside of the Google File Stream program, it'll automatically sync up to your Google Drive account on the Google server. So it'll be stored on the cloud automatically. You don't have to manually upload it, it does it automatically. All right, and then what will happen is you're gonna, when you go home, use your home computer. Okay, and this can be a laptop, a desktop, really anything. And again, you'll install the Google File Stream. Alright, and you'll need to hook it up to your school Gmail account, right? You'll have, the first time you kind of run the file stream, you have to log in with your school Gmail account, and then it'll start to sync files. Alright, and what will happen is this folder that you made here at school will automatically be there, right? So inside of your little Google File Stream, again, you'll find that icon. Right, so on your home computer, you'll click on the little icon, get the special Google File Stream folder open, and then inside of there will be that folder you made at school, right? So that's my awesome picture of a folder there, but that folder will already be there, and then automatically, right, as soon as you're connected to the internet, program 1 will be loaded down inside of that Google Stream folder. Okay, and so let's say you didn't finish program 1 at school, you can work on it at home, make some changes, and once those changes are complete, it'll automatically head back up to the Google server, and then when you get to school the next day, you would automatically have the updated copy. All right, so this allows basically the file itself is actually stored up on actually stored in all 3 locations. It's stored on the Google server and also on the 2 computers, but the server allows them to sync up so that if you make changes in one location, it's changed in all 3 locations. And this is kind of a good way to manage the files, and at some point you'll be able to turn in those programs to me, basically through your Google Drive account, which I can talk about at a different time. All right, but that's the idea here, is that you have just a single file, but it gets stored in 3 locations, and if you update them, any one of the locations, all the other 2 locations will be updated, right? And you can actually add in more computers and devices if you want, but my guess is you'll be working on a school laptop, If you don't finish something there, then you'll be working on the home computer. To show you just briefly what this looks like, first off is to find it. So I had to go download it off of Google. So I just searched Google File Stream and you download it and open it and install it like pretty much any other program. But once it's on there, I can see the program and I don't really have to run it. Other than the very first time, you probably have to click on this and run it, and it'll ask you to log in. That just will sync you up with your actual Gmail account, use your school Gmail. Once you've done that, what will happen is in the Explorer, so this is a Windows program here. So inside of my File Explorer here on Windows, there's a actual little icon that represents Google File Stream, and it's just like any other, like my C hard drive. It's just like that, where I can double click on it, and I can see folders. Here's my drive, and then you can see I've got a whole bunch of folders that I actually use for school. Yours obviously won't look like that, but then all you do from there is delete this old one. I was looking at it before. Oops, I can't actually delete it. One moment, please. Sorry. Okay, so what it's going to be is inside of here, right? Here's how I'm going to like create my .java program. So say this was my school computer. I would go into my file stream thing, and I would click on my drive, and I would make a little folder to store my programs. So I'm just going to do folder, and Eclipse calls these workspaces. So Eclipse is the editor we're going to use to make our programs. So I'm just going to call it workspace 1 or something. Maybe let's call it workspace test. All right, so when I first make it, there's nothing inside of there. So I'm going to now point the Eclipse program to use this new folder, and then all of the programs that I write in Eclipse will show up in this folder. I'm going to load the Eclipse. I'm actually going to try and find the one we're going to use in class here. I'm going to use the Photon, which is the newest version of Eclipse. And so when I get here, I say, what files do I want to work on? That's called a workspace. I'm going to browse to that folder that I just made. So I'm going to click on my Google File Stream again, my drive, and I called this workspace test. So I'm going to select that and hit select and launch, and it'll take a second here to load it. But that'll make it so that anything I work on in Eclipse automatically shows up inside of that workspace folder that I'm pointed to. So originally, just a second ago, this workspace was blank, workspace test folder. Now you can see this metadata is just some files configuration files that Eclipse uses. So as it's loading, it actually builds this metadata. So I'm going to get Eclipse to load here. I get a little error, which I don't think actually matters. So I'm going to close the welcome screen. Okay, and now I'm going to start off, and when you're first starting out, eventually you'll have a bunch of programs in here when it loads, but I'm going to start by making a new Java project. And I usually separate them by chapter, so I'm going to call this chapter 1 programs. Hit finish, and you can actually see that inside of my file stream thing, it actually made the chapter 1 programs, and it's actually syncing this folder right now. So there's a little blue circle here, means it hasn't synced yet, but eventually it'll turn into a cloud, which means it's synced up to my Google Drive. There, it changed actually as I was talking. So now it's all synced up to my Google Drive account. So any changes I make here again in this little folder are going to automatically sync to the Google server, and then they would automatically sync on my home computer if I had file stream it saved there. So again, go back to this image, right? If I make a change in my file stream account in any one spot, it automatically goes to the other 2 spots. So anyways, back in Eclipse, I'm going to make what's called a package, but it's really just another folder for storing programs. So I'm just going to call this programs, and why I'm doing this will maybe make sense later, but I'm just going to call this package programs for now, and then inside of there I'm going to make program 1, So I'm going to do a new class and call it program 1. All right, and it'll automatically, Eclipse generates some of the code right away for us. So you can kind of see I've got some code in there already, but I'm not going to go over that too much because this is more about file management. So I've created my program. I would work on it here at school, blah, 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 blah. Type in the code, whatever it may happen to be. All right, so I type some code there, save it. And again, you can see in my file system, so this is again inside of my Google file stream, I can look at my chapter 1 programs. SRC stands for source. And then inside of programs, I can see there's my program 1. All right, and it's open now in Eclipse, but you can also open it in any text editor and see that's what it looks like. It's just text. That's all the program is basically text, like a text document. So anyways, I would work on my program 1. It automatically syncs because it's got the little cloud there. And so the idea is, again, going back to this picture, I'm working here at school, right? I'm working in Eclipse, making changes to my program, et cetera, et cetera. And because I've pointed my workspace to a folder that's in this Google file stream deal, any changes you make will automatically be changed in another location. Okay, so again, say I finish up at school here. So I worked on program 1 at school, it automatically syncs. I get home. My home computer, I have file stream set up with Eclipse and everything. So I can just load the workspace again. So I guess I could label this folder. I call it like workspace test. So when I get home and I load up Eclipse, I just point it to this workspace test, and my program 1.java that I worked on at school will automatically be in there. I can make a bunch of changes to it. And it will up to the server and come back down in my school. All right, so it's kind of a handy way to keep track of all the files. It just takes a little bit of time to initially set up this Google file stream and make sure that Eclipse is pointing to the right workspace. And I think it'll be a little bit of work up front, but again, once we figure it out, I think it'll be a really good way to keep track of the programs, especially when you have to turn them in, because you'll be turning them in Google Drive also. So this will be pretty handy when we get to that step. If you have any questions at all getting this set up, please ask. I think it'll take some time. It'll be really useful, just this initial setup. I made this video so you can review it at any time if you need help.